5th, 2021, Town of Shingatig Recreation and Community Enhancement Committee meeting to order. Is there any public comment?
I guess that's me.
That would be you, and you're more than welcome to.
Good. I can. After looking at these pictures, oh wow. Okay. So, I'm here my name is Mary Chrisman, I think you don't know me, but anyway, I'm here on behalf of some of the, your constituents who use the dog park. And, we being the ones that I have talked to, have thought about the possibility of having some sort of shade at the dog park. The trees just don't do it.
Well, we cut them down. I mean, that's the ones that would help, but.
Even the ones they planted.
Right,
know,
yeah, I get
small.
it.
But as today was great there, but unfortunately during the summer, these days are few and far between. So I have really no concept. Someone jokingly, facetiously said today, tell them to put up solar panels and then we can have shade and they can get some investment, some return on their investment. I think that's a bit much, but anyway, I don't know.
The only thing I can see
Okay.
is like a small pavilion.
Okay.
Because they would keep it open for running through, the dogs still run through, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can even say that makes any kind of sense. And I get what you're saying, because it's not, the dog park isn't just for the doggies, it's kind of a social place too.
It is absolutely.
Yeah,
You
there's
hit
no
the
way around
nail
it.
on the head.
Yeah, that's-
It is definitely a social place.
Yeah, shade sails as well.
How about a shade sail? That's the first thing that came to my mind. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's
Well,
something you
we've
could-
thought about, how do you think it would hold up in the wind?
Well, I say you could take it down in the winter, because you really technically might want a little, sunlight in the winter
Right.
for warmth. So something you could take down in the winter and put up in the summer. And then it wouldn't, and those things are pretty nice now, because you can get them that are, let the rain come through, so you don't have to deal with that.
How do
And the
they hold up in the
prices.
sun? That's probably the biggest concern would be,
Well, they provide shade.
no, I mean, the sail itself, how would it hold up with the sun?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what
Over
they're,
time.
That's what they're made for.
That's what they're designed for.
Over time.
right, and then, you get to a point when you can replace the shade down, several years into it, you replace the shade.
Okay.
You would use the poles, you wouldn't have to replace, but it's something that you could, I think we ought to look into. It's something you could remove, and the expenses on the lower side, I
Lower
think.
side.
Well,
Because
Harvey just so happened to give me this book last week that had all kinds in it, if you would like to take a look. I mean, there's umbrellas, and then there's the sailcloth like you're talking about. Now, you may be able to find them cheaper. These are pretty pricey. They start, for a 10-foot by 10-foot at $39.98.
That's pretty pricey.
But it's still cheaper
If you
than-
wanna take a look at this,
That's fine.
and get, just some ideas of what kind of things they have. And there's lots of other options. And later on in the meeting, I am gonna be talking about shade for the playground, and it may be the same kind of materials or structures that we would consider doing for the dog park.
Well, we would appreciate anything, because right now we have nothing. So, we really would, it would be nice for the animals and for the people. Right now, the dogs are digging holes under the benches. So, that's how they find a place to stay cool.
Because we would certainly invite you to stay, because it is going to be discussed shade, right now, it'd be nice to have a really nice place for people to just hang out too, but like you say, it's a lot of money, and we're in that Brianna Connis part real heavy, and that's our focus right now. But you're definitely right. Like I said, it's not only a dog park; it is a social place for the people too, and we definitely want you to have shade. But so maybe when we're talking about the shade for down to the park, maybe you can get an idea, because right now, it's probably like Mr. Bott says, it's probably gonna be that shade sale instead of a, pavilion, right? Because of the cost difference, you know.
Right.
And, that's, it's just a big difference in those costs.
I've seen that myself. I have done a little bit of research.
Sure.
Yes.
And you see that gap there,
I
so.
do.
And we are receptive to definitely receptive to what you're saying, because when I ride by there, you see chairs set up together. You know what I mean? And so it's definitely, we definitely want people to be able to talk and stuff while their dogs are out playing. And but right now, like Mayor Bott said, it's probably going to be the shade sale. And but like I said, we invite you to hang around to see what
Okay.
what's.
In the meantime,
Does that include the poles, Tom?
yeah, but there's all different kinds, and
Right.
this is just but one company.
Yeah, I've been doing some research for my backyard.
Amazon. You can get anything.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
That's a lot cheaper.
It might not hold up as well as some of these commercial grade things though. But that's the kind of thing where you get it and the sun
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
beats it down, whereas this stuff is specifically manufactured
6x6
to withstand.
salt treated poles.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
Yeah,
a seat,
take
that's
a
all
look.
that I have to say, and.
Well, thank you, and I do see the people gathering socially too, so yeah, we definitely get what you're
And
saying.
They brought their own
We've made
chairs.
we've made a lot of friends, people we didn't even know.
Exactly, I see that, and that's not a bad thing,
The dogs-
Temporarily, you might want to suggest just for everybody to bring a beach umbrella here or there. Where they've brought their own chairs,
Yeah,
they could put
one
it
of
up.
the
but
guys had picked
the
those
wind-
chairs up at the dump.
The wind will, take a beach umbrella, but if
Yeah.
it's taken up and down as they need it, it might be a solution from sunburn at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I guess, unless, the next on the, to adopt the agenda, we have a motion to adopt the
So
agenda.
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next on the agenda is the update on the Brianna's Connors Park.
Brianna's Kindness Park is progressing nicely on all the playground equipment, the vast majority of the playground equipment is already installed. The big exception is the large cypress spinner that was over the corner. I guess a little confusion on our supplier's part. We thought it would produce domestically. Turns out it wound up on a slow boat in China, so literally.
Oh, no.
It's supposed to be in Port Friday, and that's doorstep by the next Friday. And the only other equipment that hasn't been installed is the long step route and.
The rail equipment,
What?
the rail equipment.
There are three pieces with the logs, type thing.
There's a-
Yeah, Pete was supposed to give me the delivery date on those today, but we're all set up, so we're installed.
The Norwell, is that all up? Last time I was there, there was a couple pieces of it.
All four bases are up. The leg machine itself, the base is there, but the machine itself can go back on it. And we're expecting that again very shortly. The athletic field has been graded, seeded, complete. I was over there today working with Preston, we're installing sidewalk. Had to be followed by curb, just to be followed by pavement. Preston's had some issues with their concrete plant. I'm not sure we'll get concrete, when we'll get concrete, it will be in the near future. Accomack County, pulled a surprise, E&S inspection while I was over there today, and fortunately, both E&S and, land disturbance were passed inspection with my.
That's big, very big.
It is.
Did they do a sign, did they any kind of sign off for you for?
I just spoke with the young lady doing the inspection, and she said it went great.
That's good, that's good.
Working with Stacy Hart to get a permit for our septic disposal. As soon as we get that, we get the building permit, and we'll start.
So we're not gonna tie on to the CCAs?
Yeah.
So it's just for our end, the pumping this, I got you, I'm with you. Kinda scared me there for a minute.
Yes, so we still have that.
No, I agree, yeah, for the add-on, and yeah, thank you, yeah, but you scared me.
That system is rated to 900 gallons a day.
Yeah,
I don't think we use 900 gallons a quarter.
right,
So,
exactly, but yeah,
so we still need a statement from the.
Yes, you do.
Places that we dig in.
You do.
places that we get all
Yeah.
that. So, as soon as we get our building permit, we'll start construction of the restaurant.
absolutely, okay, well,
Another
that's,
thing, obviously, on the plate tonight is the pavilion.
the choice,
Well, they chose a pavilion, they chose number one at the last meeting.
yeah, I think we're kinda still
Right.
there.
Are we still there?
I'm still in the same mood.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, so we
So
can,
let's consider that closed if there's no other objection. That was a very reasonable choice too.
yeah,
There's a picture of it up there on the screen, that's number one.
yeah.
That was without the,
That's without the cut face block around the pillars around the bottom.
What about that little dog? Do we have
And
to
the
have
better
her?
news from that
I'll check.
perspective,
We want a pony.
Yeah, we get a
There you
pony,
go.
maybe we get a
We're
horse.
getting the ponies to the dog.
if we order that pavilion in the month of May, we get a 5% discount. from
Let's
the
do
vendor.
it.
So I will place it on order.
Let's do it.
Yep.
was the other included on that, Mike?
What?
Was the, cut base
No,
included on that?
no, the brick piers or the block piers are not included on that. That's certainly something we can, put on easy enough at any time.
Do you know, do you have a roundabout estimate on that, or, I mean,
No.
you can't predict the labor really.
No, in fact, if you all want those, we can throw them in with the block work on the, bathroom. Do it at the same time, you know, have the mason there anyhow, the
You
same
got
kind of brick, it
consistency
matches,
there.
you know, or same kind of block, I should say. So if you wanna do that, we can certainly, once the block mason's there, it shouldn't cost that much extra, just material really,
Yeah, we'll have to see how the timing works out, if we're,
you know.
started, directing the pavilion, and we're working on the restaurant. Under the time. Other thing I failed to mention, we actually paved a portion of Smith Street, which, didn't pave in return yesterday. And the beach frankly appreciate it, I'm not sure why, but.
And will the
That-
parking lot,
In rows.
will the parking lot be able to be used by the CCA this coming weekend?
However,
Most likely not. It's, I'm not sure how the timing, and I explained this to Alex the other day. If we've done the final grade and plan on paving, Tuesday, we won't be able to use it. If we have already paved it, we'll be able to use it, or if we haven't done the final grade, we'll be able to use it. All likelihood we'll be able to use it by October.
In other words, once the final grade's done, we don't want them chewing it up,
Right.
you know, right
Right.
before we get the,
But that would be a reason not to do it until next week if they could use it for the farmer's market, because I know they certainly need it.
yeah.
Yeah, but
However, on a good note, Alex said he got permission from the Catholic Church, and we the Baptist Church trustees said that as long as there's no funeral, and we can't, as long as there's no funeral, you're more than welcome to do that one too. As long as there's not a funeral there on Saturday.
And I know they have made an adjustment that they're allowing their vendors to park their vehicles there instead of in an auxiliary lot, so that'll help with the overflow that the vendors park.
As long as they don't mind walking just a little bit, that would be, that it's not a killer, you know what I'm saying? And most times people don't mind walking when they're going to a nice event like that. And next,
Well, it looks really, really great over there. I went and sat a spell yesterday and,
Pondered the moment.
yeah. Well, I think my vision is a little deeper than other people's because I'm familiar with what's there. So, yeah, I was thrilled when I went over. Yeah, it was yesterday.
well, I got to go along with Jay. The difference in what the blocks would cost, the cut face block, I just think it would just look totally different, just a like a little like 4x4 posts, or no more than 6x6 posts coming down, I think it would look just so much better.
And it'll tie everything together.
Yeah.
If you use the same line.
Mhm.
Do we need to choose the color for the roof, or is that shingles? You couldn't tell last time, looks like shingles.
That's the standing, that's another roof.
This picture kind of has edges on it that looks like.
It does look like shingles, but that's not what the description tells us, so we'll verify that.
And I would think we'd want to use the same roof on that as we do the rest of it.
Yes.
This is
And I would
412
think we would
multi-brick.
want that to go along with the natural colors of the playground. Or green, or tan, or brown.
So next on the agenda is to review the bathroom structure finish. I think you're talking about the cut block on the last page, which you're saying, Mike?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. At the last meeting, we left up in the air sort of the block finish for the bathrooms. And one reason, well, we were going to use cut face block, but leave one entire side of it just a flat concrete block. I really think that I would really like the committee to take another look at that, if they don't mind. If we do one whole side flat, I'm afraid that it's going to become a graffiti magnet. It won't look, I just think it won't look finished. It won't look finished, especially when the other three sides of the building are cut face block. I would really like to get the committee to consider letting us do an inlay of flat block within the cut face block so that there's a defined canvas for whatever mural wants to be put up there. What I'm afraid of is that we do a mural, in 5 or 6 years it needs to be redone, and we're unable to find somebody to do it. It keeps deteriorating. Paint on block tends to do that, and it becomes, if you don't keep it refreshed every few years, it becomes very difficult to make it look good. And I want this, Harvey and I, you know, and I understand the committee does too, really want the playground to look good all the time. The good thing about the cut face block, and we have it on several structures now, it's on most recently the extra set of bathrooms at the harbor. It's a finished look that always looks good. The most you do is power wash it every 2 or 3 years, and it still looks new and it looks finished, as opposed to bare blocks which continue to discolor and weather. I just would like you to consider letting us put an inlay of flat blocks on this one side so that you have a defined canvas for that mural that wants to go up there. I think it would really
How big
look
is
good.
the canvas?
As big as you'd like it. But that way it looks like it was purposely done and not somebody that came up and graffitied it. It doesn't attract other graffiti, that sort of thing. We can even hang a signboard over it. If we can't find someone to do a mural one day, we can make a signboard that size and put over top of it, naming the park, or, you know, maintained by the town of Shannon, whatever.
I think it'll look framed up that way.
Yes, it'll look framed like we planned to have a mural there, instead of we just
Yeah.
decided to paint the side of a building.
And the restroom, the length of it's gonna be 24 feet, that, and of course, 8 foot off to the socket.
Well, I agree with Mike's suggestion.
Mhm.
And it's not gonna be a problem to find artists.
That's good. That's good.
It's not.
But
We've even got one on staff. I mean, we have
you can even, for events, if you wanted to cover the mural and put a sign up for the event, you can put a board over top of it. You know, you got a flat section on the building that could support that.
Or banners.
A banner, yeah.
Banners,
Mhm.
yes,
So we
anything.
were thinking 20 by 20, 15 by 15.
Well, the building's 24 by 8 on that side. And I believe it was the side that was facing the parking lot, facing School Street, correct?
You'd want at least a foot around it, I would think, or maybe 2.
Two.
Well, if you come down,
We could do 2 foot, a 2 foot border on all 4 sides, which still will leave you what? 20 foot by 6 by 20, basically.
That would be a long, narrow,
Well, the dimensions can be decided later, can it? Or you leave those?
up until the point where we order the block. Yes, I don't think the labor will change, but up until the point where we actually order the material, yeah, we can change the dimensions.
Yeah.
We can even get it drawn to scale for you and show you the several different sizes and see what looks good.
Yeah, the visual means a lot.
So did the committee decide at an earlier date that we wanted a more mural?
A mural on the entire side of the building, so three sides of the building would be cut face block, and then one side would just be flat block, so we could paint a mural on it.
Parking lot, so it would take the place of a standalone sign, and it would have the logo and probably a kindness quote. Cindy's gonna work with the CCA to come up with a design for the mural, but again, it would replace having a standalone sign and a whole different structure for the sign.
I think it's a great idea, but like I say, we could be very flexible if we framed this, getting banners. We may want to look at, I mean, a standard size sign used to be 4 by 8 because they painted on a sheet of plywood. You can look at standard banner sizes, things like that nature, and we could, if there's a standard banner size or a size that's used more commonly than others, we could make it approximately that size so the banner completely covers or the sign that you want to use completely covers that when the mural is not being displayed.
Yeah, murals are rough. And I understand the desire to have one, but they don't hold up well at all. I mean, that crew that painted that thing on the side of my building at the pharmacy 2 years ago, it's done. You know, it is a consideration. You know, you're dealing with something that you're going to have to continually touch up and readdress and so forth. I don't know if I missed the last meeting, so y'all may have decided to go that route with good justification, but it makes me a little nervous personally on my side, but if everybody's in favor of them, I'm going to hold the line.
Ruby-Lee's, the one that I for Ruby-Lee, that was held up pretty good on the side of the.
Well, it depends on when the sun hits it and where the sun hits it.
Right,
and how
yes,
much water
it
hits
is,
it.
you're right, yeah, I'm sure, right.
You know, for that matter, if we did the entire building out of cut face block, we put some, in the mortar joints, we put some hangers at strategic spots. You could hang banners over it at any time. And when you take the banner off, the eyes that we put in there would probably disappear, so you wouldn't even see it. We could put some stainless hangers in there so you could tie whatever banner on you wanted to at any time.
Or you could mount a piece of plywood on there.
Absolutely.
It may be easier for them to paint on plywood than it would be.
And just hang it when you get done. You could change it out regularly, you could paint it in the garage. That'd be more flexible, and when you don't have anything, you take it off and you have a nice finished cut face block surface.
Yeah, and if they, you know, and I hate to be this way, but it's to make this matter, at some point in time, people are gonna get tired of doing this building. And you're left with a white elephant, you know, with, this way, if we go with, like I said, mounting banner, or Mike says, fly, whatever, you know, when the day comes, we take it down and there's no issue.
Fine with me.
You just better go that route.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, because you're talking about something that's going to be there 100 years down the road.
Yeah.
And you don't know what will evolve. You know, it may be that the art class at the high school or something decides to redo that every year, and that's neat, and then they can take it in there to the class and redo it, and we can hang it each year or something like that.
We can find some stainless hangers that'll fit the mortar joints between the block, and you probably won't even see them unless you knew they were there.
Yeah.
And you can constantly hang different things on it.
Like it.
All right.
Ms. Don, I know it's not on the agenda, but I'd rather if you talk about the shading more open here instead of doing it through the comments. That way you got plenty of time to discuss shading. So at this point, if you want to talk about shading concerns you have for the park.
Okay, well, I believe shade is one of those things like furniture and fixtures that Team Brianna would be willing to raise the money for. And I have a couple people that are willing to do some research. Harvey gave me this catalog last week that does have shade, but I haven't looked any further than that. One particular person that comes to mind is Gail Beard who vacationed in Tybee Island, and she and her family felt like the best part of the playground there, which was a fabulous playground, was their shade. So I've asked her to do some homework, just to come up with some of the ideas of what she saw and what was so great at Tybee Island. When I was in Arizona, I was checking out playgrounds and schoolyards, and needless to say, the sun there is very intense, and they had some really good shade features on their playground. What I said to Gail was, I thought it would be better if we went ahead and waited till all the playground equipment was in place, took a visual look at it to see where we thought shade would fit better. I think with the Norwell equipment, I think they'll find that they'd like a shade cover over on that if possible. So we'll be doing the homework, if we have the blessings of the committee, to come back with ideas for shade, and we'll be willing to do fundraising to pay for whatever ideas we come up with. I mean, I think, of course, the more you want, the higher the price goes. So if I have your blessings to go ahead with Gail and research that shade, we'll research some different options. I mean, in Arizona, I saw ones that were completely solid, like a tent cover, with heavy-duty posts that were in concrete. And then I saw others that were more like the sailcloth that do let light and rain through, but it just kind of, spot shades you. And there's lots of options out there. So all I need is your blessings to say, yeah, go ahead and do some research and homework on that, and then we'll come back and report to you what we find.
Well, I think I totally agree with what wait when it's done, see where you need to shade. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. I think that's the whole thing. You just don't put it up to put it up. See what time of days and what time the sun is brutal and where our shade needs to be. So they're waiting to see when it's done. I think that's the thing. But I'm all for
Well,
it.
I don't think we have to wait to see when it's done. I think all the playground equipment just has to be in place.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Really, it already is.
Yeah. Well, I talked to her before I went to Arizona, so about 3 weeks ago. And that, it was just kind of coming in at that point, because Harvey was sending me pictures as he was putting the equipment
So
on.
just got one more piece to wait after.
Progress report. Couple more
And
pieces,
the
a
footing
spinner and a
is-
few.
The footing is, the form for the footing is there, so we know exactly what's going on.
No, I think you're right on the right track, because I've actually already thought about that, because you have no southwest breeze there in the summertime for the most part, like you do at Memorial Park. I spent many a night out there in the rather hot conditions on the Little League field, if I can remember correctly, watching my sister play softball. It gets a little stinky back there without any kind of access to the water. So I think you're on the right track, personally.
The other thing I would like to bring up is furnishings such as picnic tables and benches. If I understand correctly, we have ordered, or Harvey ordered, 4 benches with the playground equipment.
Oh, yeah, the original, yeah, they're in the back there somewhere.
But there are people who would like to do memorial benches. So the question is, how many additional benches would we like to see in Brianna's kindness part? Decide on one that fits. The town, I don't know if it's a written rule or an unwritten rule, that if they're memorial benches, they're all to be the same, like the ones that are in the dog park and the downtown park. So whether we step away from that and decide on, a particular type of bench, or if we stick with those. If we stick with those, Harvey knows the price of them. With the plaque, it's $8.25 or so. The benches in the catalog Mary has and the catalog that Mike gave me are quite a bit higher than that. I mean, they start at the thousands in these. So, but the one that is the one that you got able to have a plaque put on it.
Absolutely. I mean, they're just not in the screws, so.
But the one that we ordered with the playground is not the same as the ones that we have elsewhere around town?
It is not.
It is not. So, would we wanna stick with the ones like Harvey already has for the park?
Yeah, I think you want uniformity. I mean, I would think you want uniformity.
So do you get plaques from them, or would the
You
plaques?
can order the plaque from anywhere. Not anywhere. There's several places we can purchase a plaque.
Well, would you get me a price? And once he gets the price on those benches,
And Donna, if I made there several options there, with the last one, somebody just bought a memorial bench down at Harvard. And the plaque came from a company called Treetop Products. Yep, and they sell plaques. So if you wanted to.
so the bench came from one company and the plaque came from
Actually,
another.
Amazon occasionally runs specials on some of these prices where they waive the freight.
Mhm.
The bench was 800 and change, and, there's another couple hundred for freight.
So to the people who are currently saying, I'd like a memorial bench, I would like to be able to say how much that bench would be, as well as say, we have 4 benches that could be memorial benches, or we have 6 or 8, or whatever it is we decide. The Kiwanis donated $2,500 with the intention that that would pay for 2 picnic tables, and that's a little bit over what the picnic tables are gonna cost. I think they were $11.75. I don't know if you can put a plaque on those picnic tables to say sponsored by Kiwanis or not. But if we can, I think the money that they donated would allow for that expense. But that leaves us with 2 more picnic tables if we wanted to advertise that there were picnic tables together, then I would like a firm price on the bench with a plaque and a picnic table with a plaque.
So the uniformity between the picnic tables and the benches, are they relatively the same?
I don't know what the benches look like that you got. They were playing part?
They gave the playing part.
Miss Donna, I hate to be a tightwad, but the town has ordered the 4. I would, like you say, you be able to take that $1,000, if we're saying it costs about $800 and $200 for freight, and put plaques on the ones that we got, and if we need more, you understand what I'm saying? It sounds like I'm being tight, but.
Well, no, but if we want to go ahead and say, okay, those have already been paid for, and they won't have a plaque, there are still people who would like to do a bench that we could offer a couple for, even if they're not in the playground, even if they're over on the athletic field side.
You can set a minimum donation to sponsor, for lack of a term, a memorial bench. And use the money to offset the cost of the benches we've already paid.
Well, that's what I was thinking, that we could use the money to offset, and just add the cost of a plaque to them. Or we could add some more benches. I mean, looks to me like 4 might be enough in there.
In the playground itself, yeah. And remember, you've got that trail all the way around the athletic.
So what I'm saying is I'd like to come up with a uniform bench and plaque, so that if people wanna do that, they can come into the town office and fill out the form just like they do for a bench for anywhere. And we can put that on Team Brianna to say, if you'd like to buy a bench, here's the price and here's the process. We'll be happy to have the $825 or whatever it happens to be, whatever we decide on. But like you said, the uniformity, we want to stick with the bench that Harvey got for the playground. I think that's the way it goes.
Big question. Naturally, we're gonna have the playground up and going before we have the bathrooms and all that up and going. Are we going to, allow the use of the playground equipment before the bathrooms and pavilion is completed?
I don't see why not.
And I don't either,
Well,
'cause
I'll just run some porta potties and I can absorb that.
and I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't mind opening up Amron thing, you got bathrooms there that are usable, I don't mind, I mean, why not open it up? It's not like we kept it up to the nines and they don't need to be fixed anyway if something does happen, you know what I'm saying? I say we open up the, Amron, things and have, say, you know, if somebody needs to go to the restroom, go there and you got two bathrooms,
Yeah.
men and women's to work.
It'd be a soft opening.
Soft open, it'd be a soft open, but I'm saying, I don't mind, since a lot of people don't like porta potties in this, you know, day and time, but I don't mind opening up the Amron, center for to use those bathrooms.
Do we really need bathrooms open at the same time we open the park, just the playground area? I mean,
Yes.
it's a
The answer to
convenience.
that- The answer to that is yes. Little kids have to go, you know, like, little kids and old men have to go to the bathroom quite often. So, yeah, the answer to that is yes. And I think it's a better alternative to the, porta potties. I mean, the porta potties are a lot better than nothing, but yeah, you need, when you have people in there in a length of time, you don't want them to have to go home
But
because
then if
somebody
you
got the
have people
bathroom.
renting the pavilion, do they want little kids running through whatever they're doing? I think it's a kind of can of worms there to open up the Amron Center for.
Well, if we open it to the public to go in and use bathrooms, we're gonna have to monitor it closely, which means we're gonna have to have somebody there or somebody checking it regularly during the day.
I actually like the porta potty option.
Yep.
That is better than nothing. I mean, there's no way.
You're only talking, a couple months.
Then go ahead, if we're gonna do that, because we have handicap equipment, let's have handicap porta potties. And it costs, I know it costs more, but it only makes sense. I mean, if you're gonna have handicap, things, definitely have the nice handicap porta potty, and that's a totally way more money, but do it, let's do it.
What is your time frame on fencing or any report on the port in place? I'm firing questions at you, Harvey, sorry.
I told the fence contractor to proceed, what, 2 weeks ago, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And he said material was running about a month out. Fence, next couple of weeks. Timbers, the black timbers that go around the edge of the mulching, they go in next 2 weeks. It's just a matter of stone and mulch, so.
How deep's the mulch gonna be?
It's we put in 6 inches, 57 stones of drainage, and we put a foot of mulch on the top of it, which is supposed to compact to 6 inches.
Well, that's what I said, it looked like that's 6 inches of mulch is
Most-
gonna be in there.
Most of these playgrounds require a foot of that wood mulch, and it's gotta be certified wood mulch for playgrounds. Can't be anything. But most of them require a foot. In 6 months' time, it'll be 4 or 5 inches.
So, I mean, theoretically, obviously, the reason we can't open that playground in a month or so.
Oh, that would be and that's, would be without the port in place walkway,
Yeah.
and that would come later down the road?
Yeah.
Again, that would be a soft opening. I'm sure you'd want at some point when everything's complete to have a grand opening and some pictures and
Brown's
Art
birthday
media
is
and
in the
that sort of
fall, I
thing.
think it's in October, it'd be nice if we could have it on her birthday.
that's our original completion date is the month of October, so.
I was thinking it was November, but
Yeah.
I'll find out when her birthday is, if we shoot for that,
You
that
never
would be
know
good.
dealing with something like that, but I don't see any reason to have any problems with that.
Well, I know it's gonna be a job to keep kids off of it, because those swings look really inviting.
I'm surprised they haven't been on it.
They probably have.
We got it all taught out for caution tape and caution tape and stuff, so.
Well, I know my niece, rents the house that's right next door, and she said her renters wanna know when the playground's gonna be done, because the kids want to come back specifically and stay in the house so that they can go next door and go to the playground if they've been watching it go up. It's a benches, shade, and picnic tables, and do we want to just stick with the 2 picnic tables that Kiwanis has agreed to pay for? Or do you want me to pursue getting 2 other ones, paid for? Kiwanis said they may come back in the fall and pay for the other 2, but if we start with 2, or do we wanna start with 4?
I'm feel strongly both ways.
What's the capacity?
We are gonna start with 2.
What's the most you can have? I mean,
The
reasonable.
last meeting, we thought that 4 would fit in there nicely, and one of them being handicapped accessible. The handicapped accessible ones, without the extra bench, were more because they had to put extra support in.
And the pavilion itself is 20 by 30.
Plenty of room for 4 tables.
So it's, you know,
So, Miss Mary, we're planning on putting some shade into Brandon's Contest Park, and we will try to use that to see how that works out, and maybe the two will correlate for it down there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we know you need it, and like I said, being that we're gonna put emphasis on there first, once that shade down, if it see that it works and it's, you know, hangs with us, if you know what I'm saying, longevity. And then, like you said, then we'll think about going down there and doing something to it as soon as we possibly can. I mean, right now, a lot of money's going here, but however, we're, good Lord willing, we don't have a whole lot of storms or something during hurricane season, the beach stays open. Tourism looks good this year, so I'm not gonna say no to, you know, but right now, like I say, we kind of think this is gonna be, trying to wrap this up in, October, November, Lord be willing. You don't never know, like Harvey's saying, you don't never know. But it will be on our list to do. We won't forget about it, and you don't let us forget about it, if you understand what I'm saying.
I won't, and,
So-
I had just had one other comment if I may. The people that I have spoken with are also willing to, you know, put in some monies
Okay.
to help pay for the, ship.
That certainly makes it easier for us to go to council to do. Now, I mean that by my heart, because like I say, the budget, he has to battle it to no end. Because we try our best not to raise taxes. So that's totally a help. You know what I mean? Totally a help.
And once, you know, we come up with something that I can tell them about, then, you know, I'll talk to them about donations.
I would go, like you say, if we think something around $4,000 of work, I would start the fundraising now, because we're receptive to it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So I would think at least getting that price range, and we're very receptive to making that happen, especially if, like I said, $4,000 comes up, we could get a nice shade piece for that. So I would try kind of aim for that with you people, and we would be very receptive to, especially if you can get to that thing and it costs us nothing except for our hard work, our backs of our employees, which love their hearts. But that's where it would make it a whole lot easier to go to council and him to go before the budget committee and saying, you know, they want it, they're going to pay for it. Yes, our employees are going to have to, you know, put it up to make it work financially, but it would make it a lot easier for us.
and it doesn't help a bit now, but I intentionally chose those trees we planted in there to be fairly fast growing for each shade tree. So 2-3 years out, now you'll have all the shade. Like I said, I know it doesn't help, I tell you right there.
No, it doesn't.
But that shade sale lasts about that long anyway, so after the shade sale wears out, the trees will kick in, so.
Trees kick in, there you go.
Huh?
There you go.
And I'm not being funny when I say that. That's about like shade sale's gonna last 2 years, but after that goes by, you know, that $4,000 shade sale goes by, then the trees are there and life is good.
Just make sure you just also.
Did you do a water fountain in your plan? Do you have a water fountain in the?
I don't believe so. We didn't do a water fountain. We did not do a water fountain in this park.
Or a bottle fill station or something like that
I'm sure we'll put one in with the,
We can put it on the bathroom.
in the bathroom?
Yeah, put something wall-mounted in there probably. Easy
Look at
enough.
the price.
I know.
Yeah, actually handicap water fountains are cheaper than regular water fountains.
That's about all they're making now.
Yeah, oh yeah, by far cheaper.
Harvey, do you, remember which company it was that we looked at the picnic tables from?
you know, I know we looked at what,
I wanna say it was Play Park Play.
we did look at that, that's part, is that tree out, the part,
That's Trees Off and another one that you gave
the
me.
part over the other one?
Yes.
But I think it was in Plan Park that we looked at that I presented to the Kiwanis.
and the company that we bought the table for Rock Green Park, I sent you a link to, I don't know if you ever looked at it. They're, seem to be significantly less expensive than some of the others.
Well, we've gone through the agenda items. Does anybody else have anything else to say before the committee member comments? No,
Chairman,
well,
just one thing, while you're going through the comments, if you consider, do you want to meet, does this committee want to meet in June?
I think while it's going on, it'd be nice, like I said, because I'm really looking for a soft opening come July 4th. So I think June, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a soft opening. Don't you think July 4th is a fair, reasonable to do a soft opening? So being at June, it's going to be, they're about there. We're talking about June, the last Tuesday in June. We're going to be close to that soft opening. So yeah, I would say yes. And if that's okay with everybody else. I mean, Chris, I mean, Jag, so Donna. I mean, just because,
Yeah, I think we thought we
just
were-
because of that. Because
We
that's-
said we were gonna meet every month.
just
till it was
because of that
complete.
soft opening, especially because of the soft opening. You know what I mean? We are going, that's going to be really close dates because we're really thinking of shooting July 4th for the soft opening. And I think that being that close to, you know, that fourth Tuesday being that close, I think so.
So that's a Sunday, right, July 4th? That's Sunday.
Maybe we could shoot for July 1st.
Well, real world is July 1st. But like I said, it is 3 more days past that, or 4 more days past that. Just to give a little leeway of disasters. All right. Well, I'm right open for committee member comments. No?
I want to inquire about the swings at Don Leonard Park. Any plans to put them back up? And plans to replace the metal A-frames with a design that Mike's very familiar with?
We can do that this summer.
The one broke, that bent, was removed. One of the A-frame swing
Yeah,
stands.
I know the guys,
One knocked on.
somebody ran into one of them, didn't
Well, it's gone.
Yeah, it's not there.
And then there's one A-frame, there's a swing stand there with no swing.
they? Yeah, that's easy for one, we came up on that. I checked the status of the one,
So if and when it comes that they're to be replaced with one like you have in your yard, the Dunn Leonard Park Improvement Fund will pay for the lumber. What are those swings?
How many swings do you have, Paul? 2?
2.
Okay.
The other thing is, we discussed last meeting about filling the seat that's empty on this committee. And Mike said it was the mayor's call. So I'm gonna request that somebody ask the mayor if he would officially
Open the seat.
say we could, advertise to fill the seat on this committee.
I'll speak with him.
Anything else, Ms. Dollar? Thank you. Jay?
I don't have anything, appreciate it.
No.
Vice Mayor Chris? All right. Well, I'll open for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Thank you all very much.